So, we said that there's many definitions of the cloud, and it means a lot of things to a lot of people. The key really is that you need to figure out what it means to you and to your application. And maybe you'll decide that you'll never use the cloud. That's okay. But what I would like to do is I'd like to spend a little bit of time giving you an idea about how InterSystems is looking to help you should you decide to use the cloud, how we're looking to help you be successful in providing your applications in the cloud. Okay? So Robert talked a little bit about breakthrough applications in his session. And this is all about creating and deploying your breakthrough applications in the cloud. Now, why might you want to do that? There are many benefits of the cloud, right? We've covered some of them. You know a lot more of them. But some of them are you pay as you go. So if your service is running 5 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it's off the rest of the time, you only pay for the time that your service is running. This is very attractive. You can scale virtually infinitely. You have virtually infinite computing resources. If you need to if you have more load, add another server. If you have more load, add another server. If you have less load, take one server away. And that's the elastic part. So the elastic idea is you grow as you need, and then you shrink as you need. You can provision them on demand. You can say, okay, I want to launch a new system every month, or I want to launch a new system at 8 a.m. on Monday morning because people are going to log in, something like that. And you can stay lean, right? So you don't have to go out and invest in hardware for yourself, and you don't have to go out and make a major capital investment to create the servers that are necessary to provide your applications. So what do we think as good examples of breakthrough applications in the cloud? So instead of giving you actual examples of breakthrough applications, I will give you some characteristics of breakthrough applications in the cloud that I think fit very well. Is everybody familiar with Mary Poppins? At least some people are familiar with Mary Poppins. Okay. So from my perspective, software as a service, to provide breakthrough software as a service, you would want to be like Mary Poppins. Okay? And what does that mean? Obviously, it would be nice to fly. We all want to fly, but we can't all fly. The thing is, her magic bag, right? She has a bag. And this magic bag that she's carrying, she opens it up, and she always magically pulls out the right thing at the right time for that particular situation, right? So if a child that she's watching is crying because he's sick, she opens it up and she pulls out a medicine. Or he's sad, she opens it up and pulls out a toy. And just as an example, right? So it's delivering the right thing at the right time. This is a main characteristic of breakthrough application for software as a service. And what we want to do is we want to provide to you the framework to allow you to do that. And that's where that whole right scale thing came in. Was that we will build the building blocks, we will build the base, we'll build the framework, and allow you to use that if you need, and if you want, to take your applications, put it on top of that, and very easily, very quickly make that available in a customized fashion to your customers. Okay? So that's breakthrough application software as a service example. Everybody's seen a vending machine. We all use vending machines. This is a picture of one of the first vending machines that was introduced. And I find this very interesting because on the top it says ever open shop. And on the bottom it says night and day. So this tells you that you can approach it whenever you want. It's not restricted to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Friday. It's open, it's there, you go and use it, put your money in, you get out whatever you want. That's a fantastic platform, right? That's a platform where no matter who approaches it, they can get served as long as they want to buy something that's in that vending machine, right? Now, if the vending machine is for soda and water, like Coke, Diet Coke, and water, and you want a beer, Well, you go there and you look at it and say, no, I'm going to go find another vending machine that has beer. So that's a different case. But if you want soda or water, you go up there and you're just like, okay, it's great. I can pick the soda that I want, and it's going to be exactly the way that I want it. So this, in my mind, is a fantastic example of platform as a service, is to provide to people a way to leverage your application as a platform bolted on top of Cache or Ensemble to enable them to do their development or enable them to do, launch their applications, etc. I'll give you one example. In the US, there's a pharmaceutical company called Eli Lilly. Have you heard of Eli Lilly? It's a very, very big pharmaceutical company. And these pharmaceutical companies, they are in the business of hiring the best researchers and doctors that they can find and paying them lots and lots of money so that they can come up with the next Viagra, or they can come up with the cure for cancer, or drugs that really make a difference in life, right? So these researchers are very intelligent people, and they oftentimes, they're out for a run or they're in the shower and they have an idea, and they want to come into work and they want to try this idea, and they need to do some modeling. They need software to do this modeling. So the old process was they would come in, they'd fill out a form, and they'd give it to the IT department. Please, I would like a server or an application. I don't care where you host it. I just want to do some modeling, but I need this application. And that would take anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months for the IT department to come back with a server for this researcher. Do you think he's still interested? He's gone. The idea is gone. So he's moved on to something else now. So they said, well, stop. There's got to be a better way to handle this situation. So they implemented what they call the IT vending machine. Okay? Very similar concept. They built an application that they provide to all of their employees, all of their researchers, which is basically like a vending machine, but it's a web page. And instead of each of those products over there, there's an icon for an application, for one of their modeling applications. And all they do is they just click on it, and they answer some questions, and 20 minutes later, they have a machine running with the application that they want. And they're using RightScale's framework to do this. So we think that it's a fantastic way for everybody to be able to provide a self-service platform for people to use. So that's breakthrough platform as a service. Okay, so we've talked about some good things. Now let's talk about some bad things. There are many challenges for the cloud. The first one that people always talk about is security and privacy, right? Because we're all used to having servers that we control. We have control of the data. We have control of the data center. We have our arms around it. We have a demilitarized zone built around it so that we don't have unwanted people coming in. So we have control largely over the data. But when you put it in the cloud, the data, the control is gone from your hands. It's in the hands of the cloud service provider. People like Amazon are doing a lot of things to make it very secure to have your data there. You're the only one that can access it, et cetera, et cetera. So we won't go into that one. The one that I want to re-emphasize is something that we've been talking about from when we started, was when we first started looking at what it would take to provide Cache and Ensemble in a pre-configured fashion in the cloud. The biggest pain points that we felt, the biggest struggle that we had, was to create and deploy these applications and systems in the cloud. That was our single biggest frustration. And that's when we decided there's got to be an easier way. And we know that you will run into the same exact problem when you try this. So what we want to do is we want to make it easy for you to leverage Cache or Ensemble in the cloud, easy for you to bolt your application on, tie it together, and deploy it in the cloud. So that's where we came in with this unique partnership with RightScale. And I demonstrated the single-click deployment framework, and this is a super, super scalable infrastructure. What does that mean? Well, simple example. So today we have several public cloud service providers. We have Amazon. We have this company called Rackspace. We have a few others. I'm sure there's several here in Japan that are popular, right? The beauty of the RightScale solution is that they have identified all the main cloud service providers for public clouds as well as private clouds. And their one single framework covers all of those, okay? So from our perspective, we have to create our recipes once, and then we have to slightly tweak them for other cloud service providers, but more or less, they will just work. And that work is on us, and that's fine. But the beauty is that you can take and you can use the same thing across all of these cloud service providers. That's why it's super scalable, this infrastructure. So let's talk about what is available and when some of the stuff is going to be available. If you go on RightScale's website today and you search, they have this thing called a multi-cloud marketplace. And that's just like Amazon.com, where you go in and you search for something that you want to buy. So you go into their multi-cloud marketplace and you type in InterSystems. You will see a cache server template for cache running on Windows 2008 R2 64-bit. And this was released on June 1st. So we're very excited about this, this new release. Ensemble is going to follow very shortly. When I have a few minutes, I will launch it in the cloud. And then there's some documentation here that's available to you. The first link is something that you should look at, which describes how I demonstrated, describes all of the steps required for the thing that I demonstrated at the start to launch a system in the cloud. Okay, and there's public library for RightScale on their website. They have a public library. There's some stuff that's in there already. There's some stuff that we're going to add, and we're going to create a microsite, intersystems.com/cloud. It's not ready yet. It should be ready sometime in the June-July framework, where we'll describe some of this as well. So what is it going to cost you, right? Everybody's interested in that. From InterSystems' perspective, it's not going to cost you anything, okay? We're not charging you extra. We're not creating a new license type. If you have a license from us, as long as it's platform specific or platform independent to Windows, you can take your existing license and you can use it in the cloud. No problems, okay? The agreement that we have with RightScale is a unique one, where we have negotiated with them the ability for you to sign up for a try before you buy, 60-day trial for free, okay? I encourage you that if you want to deploy in the cloud, you take advantage of this. Try it, okay? And if you like it, then you can pick up the phone and call them and say, okay, I want to use it. Here's my use case. How much is the enterprise version going to cost me? And they are very reasonable. They don't have one general price for everybody. They base it on the amount of usage you expect, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very reasonable. We have a really good relationship with them, so we can also work with you and them to negotiate a proper price. But you cannot get away from paying the infrastructure provider. So you will always have to pay Amazon EC2. You pay as you go. Remember that there are costs associated with the server. So even if you're not doing any processing and your server is running, you're still paying Amazon. So if you're not doing any work, shut down your machine. Otherwise, you're going to be paying Amazon a lot of money. I know this from personal experience. Data transfer costs, storage costs, etc. So these are things that you're going to have to pay for. But the rest of the stuff we've negotiated with RightScale to give you a free trial. So I think that that's really good.